Luna hit me in the face this morning. Open palm, full commitment, looked me dead in the eye. Zero remorse. I froze.
She's not bad. She just used her hands to say a word she doesn't have yet. How you respond decides if she uses her hand or her mouth next time.
Then, how should I respond?
What most parents do actually makes her hit more. The right response is one sentence. Coming up. What did you do?
I said OW very dramatically, which I now know was the completely wrong thing to do. But in the moment, I genuinely thought, is my 2-year-old aggressive? Like, is this just who she is?
And that fear is exactly why we're making this episode. Because the word aggressive gets attached to toddlers so fast, and it does a lot of damage, the hitting almost never means what parents think it means.
Okay, so walk me through it, because from the outside, a child hitting looks like aggression. What's actually happening in that little brain?
Most parents don't realize this. The part of the brain that produces language develops significantly slower than the part that produces emotion. Before age 3, your child can feel frustrated, overwhelmed, or desperate at an adult level of intensity. But they have the vocabulary of a toddler. Hang in. The exact sentence to say, in the moment, is coming next.
Which is basically a handful of words and a lot of pointing.
Exactly. So when Luna felt something she couldn't say, maybe the shoes were uncomfortable, maybe she wasn't ready to leave, maybe she wanted you to stop and look at her, the only tool she had available was her body.
She wasn't being aggressive. She was communicating the only way she knew how.
The hit is a message, an incomplete, imprecise message, but a message. Your job as a parent isn't to punish the message, it's to decode it and then teach a better tool to replace it.
But here's what I worry about. What happens if we just keep treating it like aggression? Like she hits, we say bad girl, we send her to a corner. What does that actually do over time?
Children who are repeatedly labeled aggressive, especially early, begin to internalize that label. They start to see it as identity. Kids who are told they are a problem child will often live into that story.
So the label becomes the trap.
Yes. And here's the other consequence. When you respond to hitting with big reactions, yelling, dramatic pain faces, you accidentally make it more interesting. Toddlers repeat what gets the strongest response. A big reaction is, neurologically, a reward.
Which explains why my dramatic OW face probably made the whole thing worse.
It was basically a 5-star review of the hitting experience.
Okay, so what do we do instead? Walk me through the first technique.
The first technique is stop the action. Calmly. When Luna hits, you don't react big, you don't yell, you don't lecture. You take hold of her hands gently but firmly, make eye contact, and say in a neutral voice, hands are not for hitting. That's it. Short. Neutral. Clear.
Short and neutral is the hard part, because the instinct is to say a lot of words when you're surprised or upset.
And toddlers cannot process a 10-sentence explanation in the heat of the moment. Their stress response is already activated. What they can process is one clear boundary delivered without drama. The lack of big reaction removes the reward. The boundary tells them this path is closed.
So, no lecture, no 5-minute conversation about why we don't hit, just hands are not for hitting, and then move on.
Move on immediately. Don't hover. The moment is over. Lingering makes it bigger than it needs to be.
Okay, technique 2. What comes after we stop the action?
Name the feeling. Become a translator. Say what you think they were trying to communicate, even if you guess. Something like, you wanted that toy and I took it. That felt unfair. Or, you weren't ready to stop. That was hard.
Even if I guess wrong, it's still useful?
Yes. Because you're not trying to be accurate. You're building emotional vocabulary. You're showing them that big feelings have names. And you're showing them that you see them, even when their behavior was wrong. That combination, boundary plus being seen, is very powerful for a toddler brain.
Because they feel understood, not just punished.
And a child who feels understood has less urgency to escalate. A lot of meltdowns are just a child screaming, "Does anyone here see what I'm actually experiencing?" When you name it, you answer that question.
And the third technique builds directly on that, right? You give them the tool to replace the hit?
Give the words. Once you've named the feeling, you practice the replacement. You say, "Tell me with your mouth." Then you model the sentence for them. Say, "I want it back." Or, "I need help." Or, "Stop." You say it first. Then you ask them to repeat it.
And you're not expecting perfect language from a 2-year-old. You're just showing them there's a tool that isn't your fists.
Exactly. You're installing the alternative. It won't work the first time or the 10th time, but every repetition is a small deposit into a language bank. One day, that word will be available when they need it, and they will use it instead of hitting.
So we're not just correcting behavior. We're teaching a skill.
The behavior correction is almost a side effect. The real work is building a child who has words for their feelings. That's what lasts.
All right, let's name the whole thing. What do you call this framework?
Stop. Name. Words. Those are the 3 steps. Stop the action. Calmly. No big reaction. Name the feeling, even if you guess. Give the words. Practice the replacement tool together.
Okay, I'm going to do the before and after so people can actually hear the difference. Old Ethan responds to getting smacked. "Oh, W, Luna, that hurt. Why did you do that? That is not okay. Do you understand me? We do not hit people."
And how many words was that?
Too many. Now, new Ethan. Luna hits me. I take her hands. I look at her. Hands are not for hitting. Then, you wanted to keep playing, and I said it was time to stop. That was hard. Tell me with your mouth. Say, not yet.
Notice the difference in energy. One escalates the moment. The other closes it and opens a door.
Let me tell you about a kid from your classroom, because this stuff can feel very theoretical until you see it actually work.
There was a 2.5-year-old I'll call S. He bit. Not hit, bit, and it happened almost daily. Other children were starting to avoid him. Parents were asking about it in pickup. He was being framed as the problem child in a room full of 2-year-olds.
That label had already started.
It had. And what I noticed was that he always bit in moments of wanting. Wanting a toy that was taken. Wanting to join a group that didn't make space for him. He had almost no spoken language at that point. His mouth was doing the only thing it knew how to do.
He was communicating the only way he had.
For 6 weeks, every single incident, we used stop, name, words. Hands and mouth are not for biting. You wanted the red truck, and Marcus had it. That felt impossible to wait. Tell me with your mouth. Say, mine.
6 weeks is a long time to be consistent about one thing.
And then one morning, Marcus picked up the red truck first. S walked over, opened his mouth, and said, mine. Not bit. Said, one word. And he stood there looking a little surprised himself, like he hadn't planned to do that.
The word replaced the bite. That's the whole theory in one moment.
That moment is why this work matters. 6 weeks of planting. One ordinary morning, a seed broke through.
Here's the question I want to leave with you. Think about the last time your child hit and how you responded. Were you addressing the behavior or the feeling underneath it?
You don't need to answer me. Just sit with it, because the answer usually shows you exactly where to start.
Your homework this week, next time Luna, or your toddler hits, try stop, name, words just once. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to try it once and see what happens.
And come tell us in the comments what the hitting moment usually looks like in your home. When does it happen? What triggers it? You might see a pattern you hadn't noticed before.
If this helped you see your toddler a little differently today, hit subscribe. We're here every week with practical, evidence-backed parenting for the real moments, not the Pinterest moments, the messy ones.
And leave a comment if you've tried naming feelings with your toddler. We read every single one, and we want to know what happened.
Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves, and take care of those little humans. Bye.
Your toddler isn't aggressive. They're just waiting for you to teach them the words.